Hello everybody, thank you for attending this webinar. I'll do some introductions in a moment. This is the second in our asset integrity series of webinars. Today we're going to focus on field inspection. So that's myself on the right there. I work for Datum360. You won't hear too much from me today. You'll hear from the people that have done the work. They'll introduce themselves in a moment. Just in the meantime, at the top there, I want to point out there's a chat function on the software. And if you would like to ask any questions, please use that and we'll collate them at the end and do our best to answer your questions. So from the left then, Gavin, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi all, so Gavin Dibble, I work for Sword IT Solutions as a information management consultant, and I've been supporting Serica with its engineering information management improvements.
Hi folks, Andrew James. Apologies if I sound a bit bonged up. I think I'm coming down with a cold at the moment, but you'll have to bear with me. I'm the Information Services Manager for Serica Energy.
And hello everybody, I'm Jesper Heinemeyer. I'm the CTO of Safex. I'm a programmer and I've been with the company for about 8 years now.
Hello everybody, my name is Simon Stewart. I'm the implementation manager for Safex, and I've also been with Safex around 8 years.
Thank you guys. So a little bit about Serica Engineering Information Management here. As I said, I'm representing Datum360. So Serica Energy use our connected data backbone, PIM360, and it's the single source of truth for engineering data. We do provide some consultancy to them, but not a lot, more high-end consultancy. SafeEx, they have their technology which allows people to collect data in the field with a user-friendly user interface. It increases the efficiency because people are out there using data that's come from PIM360, but they're validating it and adding data to it out in the field. They are industry experts. Sword, provision of IT solutions to Serica, and also the management and development of the IT services. And Serica themselves, Serica Energy, I should say, in the North Sea, UK sector, they transferred the Bruce asset to themselves in 2018, and they took the opportunity to start their digital journey with information management. And the next thing we're going to do is a poll. I'm going to ask you a question, and hopefully it'll appear on your screen, and we'd like you to answer the questions, please. Thank you. So you saw the question come up. Are you already using API-enabled integrations? So 60% of you said yes, which is great to hear. 20% said no. 20% no, but they're aware what an API is, and 5% said what's an API. So very briefly, if I can say what an API is, just for the 5%, of my understanding anyway, I'm not a technical person, application program interface. So normally nowadays, most applications provide an interface that other applications can use to call data from them. And they call data in a way that is understood by the rules of that application. So you get good, consistent connection between them. And to simplify it, it replaces the traditional file transfer that people have been reliant on for so long. It's direct connection between two data sources, often via the Microsoft ecosystem logic apps. Okay. So what was the problem? So we've got somebody here, Andrew, who can tell us what the problem was.
Yep, certainly. Thank you very much, Lynn. So first of all, a little bit of an introduction in terms of where Serica's come from. So as Lynn mentioned, Serica took over the Bruce, Keith and Rum assets from BP back in 2018, towards the tail end of 2018. At that time, I was responsible for building the IT services for Serica, which included the full spectrum of services you would normally get in an oil and gas operator, including a portfolio of business systems covering engineering, maintenance management, production reporting, etc., etc. At that time, the emphasis was very much on day one readiness to get systems ready in a limited time frame. And subsequently, we've been focusing much more on improving integration. So at the beginning, the systems that we built were largely standalone systems, point solutions with fairly limited integration. And subsequently, we've been working on improving integration across the whole landscape. And a lot of that hinges upon the data. As an efficient operator, Serica needs to make sure that its digital tools are efficient as well as its day-to-day, its physical tools, and the way that its methods and standards and so on. So that's a bit of background. Thinking about the business problem we're trying to solve, well, on the Bruce platform, it's quite a large platform. There's roughly 25,000 items of EX equipment. EX equipment essentially is anything that needs to be certified as safe for use in a hazardous area. So roughly 25,000 items of equipment that need to be inspected every 3 years. So roughly 8.3 thousand items per year. It's quite a high volume of inspections that need to be done. We recognized there was an opportunity to improve the way that inspections were done. Previously, it was very manual, very labor intensive. And we thought, bringing a digital capability to this will definitely improve things. The core requirement was to get these inspections done, properly, rigorously, comprehensively. Also to be able to demonstrate that we're doing those inspections rigorously as well, of course. And that's a key requirement to satisfy industry and regulatory standards. So we looked at the options. We selected SafeEx as a solution for EX inspections, and we were also keen to integrate SafeEx with our engineering data warehouse Datum360, really to make sure that we don't end up with different silos of data all over the place. So we've now adopted SafeEx, we've integrated it with Datum360, and you'll hear about that in the next few minutes. As I say, one of the key benefits of this is a more integrated data landscape, a single source of the truth, to quote the cliche, and also we've introduced mobile devices, as it says at the bottom of this slide. SafeEx is the first use case we've got for mobile devices. We would like to extend usage across other use cases, mainly around the inspection, maintenance area, but also engineering, and there's a whole spectrum of different use cases that we want to look at in due course. So I think that's probably enough of an introduction from me. Let me hand back to Lynn, and he can talk a bit more about the landscape and Datum360.
Thank you, Andrew. Just a reminder what we're talking about today, everybody. We're showing an existing successful integration between SafeX's software and our connected data platform, showing how data sources have been connected. This is the second webinar we've had on this subject. So I want to quickly talk about the Serica ecosystem for information management. On the first webinar, we introduced the phrase carefully curated information sources. I'm sure we all have seen those, and they're great things. We have people or groups of people that own a data source and make sure to the best of their ability it's maintained, it's updated, but sometimes that can become a very shiny silo. What we're trying to do here is connect those silos together. So specifically for Serica, we have Datum360 as that connected data backbone there, and various applications are connected to it. You can see I've gone through the permit to work system there, WorkSafe, SafeEx, which is green because it's in place, the integration, a visualization suite, GDI, maintenance system, plant integrity management, and Asset 55 for joint management. So you can see there's potentially more to do. And on the previous webinar, we spoke about the integration with SharePoint and Datum360, where we identified tags on documents that weren't in Datum360 and vice versa. That's a previous webinar. You can go to our website if you'd like to see that. And the point I wanted to make really is that that integration with SharePoint will identify some new tags that were missing in PIM360, which are now available to SafeEx. So there's a 2 + 2 = about 6 here. Once you start the ecosystem finding missing data, all of the participants benefit. I'm not going to be doing a PIM360 demonstration today. If you'd like one at some future time, just drop us a line. Happy to do that. Okay, I'm now going to show a SafeEx, very short SafeEx video, so you'll have an idea of the capability of their technology.
We are SafeEx. In SafeEx, we have a clear mission. We wish to develop a unique and user-friendly software solution for inspection and maintenance, in collaboration with our clients and partners, which makes maintenance simple, transparent, efficient, and stress-free for users at all levels. We began as an oil and gas service company, and we remain experts in hazardous area maintenance services. This is how we can support our clients in the full process of digitalization. We have come a long way since 2008. Today, the SafeEx solution serves and supports an optimized maintenance operation for more than 30 major companies in various industries around the world. The SafeEx solution is designed by technicians for technicians, and our solution supports all sorts of maintenance routines. The software applies to multiple industries. The web system provides a centralized overview of all client assets, giving management a fast and easy condition overview, accelerating decision-making for required actions. The system is flexible and open to client-specific customization. Features include bespoke checklist creation, competency management, system configuration, and various reporting options. The system includes a planning tool, where tasks, plans, and scheduled campaigns can be achieved and controlled against timeframes and deadlines. Uploaded plan drawings, with equipment markers, will assist your technicians locating the equipment. Assigned tasks and intended corrections is visual on the plan drawings, as added symbols and color indicators. The app provides an easy overview of the different maintenance activities and tasks. Planning symbol will be presented on the assigned task. The technician has easy access to photos, documentation, and certificates, as much or as little as required. The mobile tool can be applied to multiple inspection and maintenance routines. Examples like value checks for pressure equipment, preset record values limits can be applied. EX inspections, inspection of electrical equipment in hazardous areas, includes the IEC 60079-17 standard. Corrective actions with additional photo detailing. When the assigned tasks are completed, simply synchronize, and all results are uploaded to the web system for further actions. In the asset overview, the system provides a visual overview of the workflow completions. All actions are tracked to ensure transparency and a complete digital audit trail. The SafeEx software solution can be applied to multiple industries. We have a proven record of reducing the on-site man days by up to 50%. Take the next step towards a higher safety standard. We are ready to support your optimized maintenance operation. The SafeEx solution is available as a standalone system or through integration to ERP systems, asset management systems, and engineering databases. The system is furthermore open to handle risk-based inspection, RBI, a methodology to optimize inspection. we embrace the future, SafeEx strives to be on the forefront of development and technologies to ensure the best product and solution for our clients. Our goal is to support our current and coming clients to achieve a smarter and leaner maintenance operation today, tomorrow, and into the future. SafeEx, our passion is smarter maintenance.
Thank you for watching that, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. I quite like that video, and it gives you an idea of some of the capability of the SafeEx software. I'm now going to move on to allow SafeEx themselves to talk about that. Excuse me, I'm just struggling with my PowerPoint at this end.
Thank you, Lynn.
Apology. Sorry about that, Simon. Over to you.
No, thank you, Lynn. Just want to have a little chat about this slide. What this slide shows is we have the engineering database Datum360 supplying the information through the REST API to SafeEx. From there, the user can go out, do his maintenance, and also update any data, all these sort of things. There's competency management inside the application as well, and all these little tricks that can help you along the way. Once this has been completed, then the data is passed back through the REST API to the engineering database for approval. That's a very high level concept of what's going on in this project. Gavin is going to touch on a bit more detail about it further on in the presentation. Thanks, Lynn.
Oh, it's my turn. There we go. So yeah, Gavin Devil, and I work for Sword IT Solutions, and we've been working with Serica for a little while now to help them improve the quality, completeness, and governance of all their engineering information management. So that, I suppose, gets spread over a few different work themes. One of the main ones that's been working for the last 18 months or so is the data enrichment scope. So that's actually trying to identify any gaps in the data we've got, fixing it, and making sure that everything's fit for purpose, so that our central engineering store, Datum360, has the best quality data that we have. And then other work streams such as improving the systems and automation, knowledge transfer, and then like this one, actually system interfaces. So in all of these scopes of work, one of the things we're making sure we do is that everything is integrated. So we've got a focus on the systems architecture to make sure we're not going off building new siloed data sets or systems. Everything needs to work together, with Datum360 being the backbone of it all, and our single source of truth. So as we say, SafeEx is the subject of this webinar. And so what's the IM challenge that we've been trying to deal with here? Mostly it's around the fact that if you've got information and data going from one system to another, being updated and being sent back and propagated across these different tools, how do you make sure that everything stays aligned? So if we move on to the next slide, we can have a quick look at the overview of how the data flows between the systems. So on the right there is Datum360, and this is, as I say, our master database. This is where, if you click, there's, I think, there we go. So any of the Serica engineers that are making changes to tag data or adding new tags, all gets done in Datum360. As far as all the EX attributes, it's a simple tick box that we've got within Datum360. So anything that needs to be sent to SafeEx is tagged as needing to go in that direction, and that's what essentially makes up our EX register. And there's a set of defined attributes that then get sent over to SafeEx. That is a manual interface at the moment, and the decision was made just due to the frequency and the ease of actually being able to pull the data out of PIM360 and pull it into SafeEx as required. We didn't need to do an automated upload there. Keep clicking one more time. So yeah, so once the folk have done their inspections within SafeEx, twice a day, there is all of the attributes from SafeEx that need to go to PIM360 are sent via their REST API to PIM360. And the way that that is sent is, so we developed using Azure Integration Services, a logic app, which connects and pulls the information from SafeEx and sends it directly into PIM360 and connects to their REST API. So all the data flows seamlessly between the two of them. You can also see on there that there is an approvals process. So if the engineer doesn't agree with any of the markups from the inspectors and wants to go back and fix it in SafeEx, they can do so. So we can choose what we actually publish into PIM360 as part of that process. Yeah, and this particular slide is, I'm not going to go through all the individual bullets on here. The main point here is just trying to highlight all the EX data that we're pulling from PIM360 and sending to SafeEx. So that's the top part there in the dark blue. The highlighted attributes in that section are only read-only within SafeEx, so they can't be changed within SafeEx. And at the bottom, this is just showing all of the attributes that are mastered in SafeEx and sent to PIM360. And the bold items are the ones where they're mastered within SafeEx rather than PIM360. I think that's all I needed to touch on. There we go. And over to you, Andrew.
Okay, thank you, Gavin. Okay, so what have we actually achieved? What have we delivered at the end of the day? So this system went live in January, so it's now been in use for about 5 months or so. We have satisfied the original sort of business requirements, which were essentially to make sure that we conduct the EX inspections thoroughly and diligently, so we can make sure everyone's safe. And secondly, of course, which is not as important as that, but also important, make sure we can actually demonstrate that we're doing that to meet regulatory requirements and so on. So I think everyone is fully satisfied we've achieved those goals. On top of that, you know, in terms of improving the way that we do this, in terms of optimizing things, yes, we've succeeded there fairly visibly. We've managed to reduce the effort by around about 30%. So previously, this EX inspection process, as I mentioned, was very, very manually intensive. It still requires a lot of effort, of course. 25,000 pieces of equipment to be inspected in 3 years still requires a significant amount of effort, but we've managed to reduce that effort by around about 30%. And we think that as we progress, we should be able to improve that even further. Capturing data at source, you know, using mobile devices, helps us in terms of improving data quality and data integrity. It reduces transcription errors, for example. It just makes people more efficient because they don't have to do sort of double data entry. It also allows us to enrich the data as well. So with SafeEx, we can you know, add additional information, add photographs and so on, which is obviously a lot better than we had before. Importantly, our data is now synchronized across the whole landscape, the whole digital landscape. So as Gavin's just explained, you know, we have you know, data exports and imports between systems. A lot of that is automated. Some of it is still manual, but it's fair to say that it's far, far more efficient than it used to be. And indeed, the data is generally in better shape than it used to be, and it will stay in. We're fairly confident it's going to stay in good shape because of the way that the interface has been implemented. From a technical perspective, yeah, as I mentioned, mobile technology we're now using, so there's plenty of potential to do more with that. And we're fairly comfortable now that we've actually got a good standard in place, a good solution in place that we can continue to use in the future for Bruce, of course, but also potentially to extend to other assets. So as Serica grows in the future, then we can take this solution forward and use it in other places as well. So it's very extensible and very hopefully sustainable. There's been some talk about some technical specifics during this presentation. So you've heard things like Azure integration services mentioned, logic apps, RESTful APIs, all the technical jargon. Appreciate, you know, that probably not everyone understands that the specifics there. For ourselves, it's been really important to go through this, so we do understand the concepts and some of the implementation specifics, which we can now take forward to help us to integrate other systems. I would say if there are any questions that you have on anything like that, don't hesitate to come forward, you know, after this presentation. We're always willing to collaborate and help others. But indeed, we're going to have a Q&A session now. I think we'll give you the opportunity to ask any questions for the next few minutes. And I think Lynn's going to host that. So back to you, Lynn.
Thank you, Andrew. And sorry, the slide jumped halfway through there. I need to go on a PowerPoint course, obviously. We do have some questions. We have one question, in fact, with two questions are quite similar, so I'll combine them into one. And that is, how long did it take, and can you monetize the gain in efficiency of the operation? That's a difficult answer, but I'm wondering if we can monetize the gain in the efficiency of the operation. Andrew, do you think you could take that?
Yeah, sure. I'll certainly try. I mean, in terms of how long it took, in absolute time frame, it was several months, although it wasn't a full-time piece of work. Like most of our projects, it was being worked in parallel with other things. So end to end was several months to get this delivered. A lot of the effort actually went into improving data quality, in our engineering database, PIM360. So it wasn't all about SafeEx. I would say if your data is in decent shape to begin with, then it's a relatively straightforward piece of work, really, probably a month or two. But of course, it depends where you start from. In terms of the business value it's delivered, I can't really quantify it in absolute terms at the moment, but it's fair to say, I mentioned a 30% improvement in efficiency, which I think is realistic today, and it's going to improve as we go forward. So that's certainly the case. But also just the assurance it gives us that we are actually completing this process effectively now and diligently. Of course, we always, endeavored to do that previously with the manual process, but now I think we've got more confidence that we're doing that. So a number of benefits that we've achieved, and I would say it will probably pay for itself within a year.
Thank you, Andrew. Okay, that's the question answered. So everybody, thanks very much for your time. I hope it was informative and perhaps even enjoyable for you guys. Here's the contact information of the people. If you feel you'd like to have another conversation or more clarity, the recording of the webinar will be available. I understand some people couldn't hear the video. So if you'd like to go to the website, Datum360 website, you'll be able to register there and get a recording of this webinar. So apologies if you had some technical problems there. Everybody, thanks very much for your time.